If no one can shake you anymore, not by words, silence, nor betrayal. Most men live easily agitated. A disrespectful word, a broken promise, a simply delay suddenly. They are angry, bitter, or exhausted, not because the world is cruel, but because they have never learned to master their emotional responses. Yet, the Stoics understood what we have forgotten. True power belongs to the man who remains calm under pressure. Mental strength is not physical strength, it is control. And self-control begins with an unchanging truth. You are not obligated to react. In this video, you will learn how to build emotional mastery through Stoic philosophy, how to prevent others from pressing your emotional buttons and protect your inner peace like a man who refuses to bow before external chaos. You'll realize why lowering expectations is not weakness, but wisdom. Silence is not surrender, but strategy. Emotions are not enemies, but how you respond to them can be. If you've ever felt that others underestimate your calm, or that life constantly throws you off balance, you are not alone. But today, everything will change. This is no mere encouragement. It is a profound transformation. Be patient. What you're about to hear may change how you face everything. If you find this meaningful, like the video, subscribe, and share with those who need it. Strength is not noise, it is steadfastness. From this moment forward, no one and nothing will control your peace again. First, regard self-control as your shield. There is a fleeting, almost forgotten moment when a man loses his power. Someone interrupts, mocks, or ignores him, and inside, a storm begins to form. His chest tightens, jaw clenches, voice rises louder than needed. Just like that, calm vanishes, not because the other is stronger, but because he reacted, and in that reaction, he surrendered. We often mistake reaction for strength, thinking the growler holds power. The harsh truth is, strength does not lie in noise. It lies in the silence you choose. Self-control is not absence of emotion, but refusal to be ruled by it. You need not become numb. You must become precise. Anger is instinct, quick, loud, rash, and dangerous. It feels like action, but often leads to regret. When insulted and you explode, they have won by stealing your calm. They control your state, and you unknowingly let them script your story. The easily provoked man has no walls, no boundaries. His emotions are public property. Anyone can step in, press buttons, and seize him for a moment. Now imagine another man who hears the same insult but remains unmoved. Breath steady, eyes unblinking. He does not suppress his reaction. He masters it because he has trained himself. He knows emotional control is not about toughness, but about not handing the keys to your peace over to strangers. This is the power of the Stoic, not ego, but ownership of your time, energy, and emotional space. Perhaps you've experienced this stuck in traffic. Someone cuts you off. Your heart races. Words rise to your lips, then vanish, but tension lingers. Distraction follows. Balance is lost. That is the cost of reaction you pay long after the moment passes. The Stoic man understands this, so he pauses. He allows the emotion to surface, but not to dominate. He breathes deeply, remembering the world owes him no perfection. Control resides within himself. Most live in survival mode, ready to defend. prove, retaliate. But that posture weakens you, placing your identity in others' hands. They insult. You react. They praise. You smile. You lose yourself, becoming a creature of emotion. The reactive man is a slave to the world's mood swings. So how do you build the shield? Begin with stillness. When provoked, do not speak or act. Feel the wave rise within, but do not ride it. Observe it. Acknowledge it, but do not follow it. That moment of stillness is your power. There, you break the cycle. Gradually, you become less reactive, more composed. You stop fighting noise with noise. You no longer chase fairness in petty disputes. You guard your energy as if it were life itself, because it is. This is not passivity. The Stoic man does not ignore injustice, but knows when to act and when to let go. He knows when to speak, and when silence is the mightier weapon, he chooses his battles wisely. When engaged, he acts with clarity, not anger. You do not need to prove strength. You only need to own it. The loudest voice often lacks control. The quiet, steady, unblinking man is the one truly felt. That man is worthy of respect. From this moment forward, let your first instinct not be reaction, but silence. Make stillness your habit. Let peace become your legacy. When you master this, you become untouchable, not because the world stops testing you, but because it no longer controls what once ruled you. Secondly, lower your expectations of others. You are repeatedly disappointed because you set your hopes too high. This is the trap. It starts quietly with the thought that someone should be wiser, kinder, more understanding. You expect them to say the right things, to honor you, to respect your boundaries without reminders. But when they don't, you feel hurt, frustration, anger, even the sting of betrayal arise. You begin to believe people are failing you. Yet the truth is simpler and harsher. They are merely acting according to their nature. Your pain springs not from their actions, but from your expectation that they would be different. Expectation is an unspoken contract you draft alone, with no one else's consent. You hope a friend will protect you, a partner will show patience, colleagues will recognize your efforts. Yet these hopes go unmet, and in the gap between your desires and reality, your peace vanishes. That chasm is where resentment takes root. You carry the heavy burden of who others should be, and it slowly crushes you. The ancient Stoics wasted no effort blaming others for their true nature. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning that he would meet the ungrateful, arrogant, and deceitful, not out of pessimism, but readiness. When you accept human nature, you cease demanding perfection. You stop handing over your peace to the disappointments closest at hand. You do not expect calm amid the storm or clarity within chaos. You learn to see people as they are, not as you wish them to be. Imagine entering a room with no expectations, no assumptions that the waiter will be polite, the driver patient, or friends mindful of your birthday. You simply observe and engage as they are. You respond with clear-headedness, not impulse. You have broken free from the chains of assumption, no longer shocked when someone disappoints you, for you have released the notion that they owe you what they never promised. This freedom, subtle yet profound, transforms everything. Most men tie their inner peace to others' behavior. A stranger's rudeness can ruin their entire morning. The silence of those closest can breed weeks of tension. But what if you could untangle that knot? What if you stopped expecting others to gift you carefully wrapped peace? What if you ceased demanding perfection from those who are themselves wounded? This is the essence of Stoicism. It faces reality as it is, without demanding fairness from those who cannot grasp it. It does not seek understanding from those still battling their own storms. It teaches you to meet others where they stand and not let it unsettle your soul. You can practice this now. Think of someone who often disappoints you, a friend, colleague, or loved one. Ask yourself, am I hurt by what they did, or by what I expected them to do? Write it down. Speak it aloud. Let that question be your mirror. In that reflection, clarity emerges. You are not betrayed. You have merely set your expectations too high. Lowering expectations is not becoming cold. It is becoming wise. It is not the death of hope, but the birth of understanding. You need not stop loving others. You only need to stop letting your expectations of them become weapons that wound you. Begin today. I will see others as they are, not as I wish them to be. I will not plead for rain to become sunshine. I will build my own shelter. This is the freedom of the Stoic, not freedom from others, but freedom from the burden of needing them to change. Thirdly, practice indifference in the face of provocation. Some people do not seek peace. They crave your reaction. They provoke, taunt, waiting for you to erupt because that is how they feel control. When you lose your calm, they win. Not because they are stronger, but because they have dragged you into their chaos. The moment you react, you enter their realm. You let them decide who you become. That is the true loss. Not the insults, not the quarrels, but allowing them to touch your soul. Indifference is not coldness. It is not ignoring injustice or pretending not to be hurt. Stoic indifference means you refuse to let anything undeserving drain your energy. You choose where your mind rests. You decide who gains access. You guard your focus as sacred, for it is just that. Every time you let a fool provoke you, you abdicate your throne and plunge into the mud. Recall the last time someone deliberately angered you, a stranger in the street, a disrespectful coworker in a meeting. A close relative always knows how to say words that ignite your anger. You feel the fire flare. The words form. The tension tightens in your chest. This is the decisive moment, the true test. And most men fail. They speak too quickly, act hastily, losing what they most wish to hold their own power. Now, imagine a different outcome. The same insult, the same provocation. But this time, you pause. You sense the impulse to react, yet you resist it. You let the words reach your ears, but not your soul. You observe, then choose. It's not worth it. Then you walk away, not in retreat, but as the master of the moment. This is not weakness. It is mastery. The man who holds steady in the meeting room without blinking commands, respect, calmness, owns the moment. Epictetus said, if someone tries to harm you and you refuse to accept the wound, they fail because pain requires consent. Insults need your consent to take root. But when you answer noise with silence, when you stop reacting to every shove, you rise beyond their reach. You become untouchable not because you fight harder, but because you choose not to fight at all. This does not mean passivity. You act when necessary. You set boundaries. You speak truth. Yet, you choose your battlefield. You do not get drawn into every petty fight. You need not explain yourself to those who have already decided to misunderstand you. You do not argue with noise, you walk through it. This is the emotional strength of a Stoic man. It is the refining of a tranquil mind in the furnace of life. Next time someone tries to provoke you, try this. Pause for 3 seconds. Just 3 seconds. In silence. Feel everything, but do not rush to act. Ask yourself, do I truly want to give them control over me? Then decide that this moment of pause is your space to build character. This quietness separates the strong from the reactive. Practice this daily in the store, in traffic, in any argument. Refuse to react just to feel better. Let your silence speak for you. Let your calmness unsettle them. Those who shout have lost something. The man who does not blink compels change in others. Let them speak. Mock. Try as they may. But guard your energy like it is gold. For in the end, that is your true treasure. When you no longer respond to every provocation, you gain something precious. Clarity. Peace. Your true self restored. Begin now. Find a situation today where you would normally lose your temper, but do not. Smile. Breathe. Keep moving forward. This is how the Stoic wins quietly, never playing by their rules. 4. See every moment as a test of character. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. That moment of frustration, that sudden trial, is not chaos, but a mirror. Life reveals who you are when circumstances turn harsh. Most men shrink back, complain, ask, why me? But the Stoic man asks, what am I called to build within myself right now? Pain is never personal. It is a lesson. Every disappointment is a weight your character lifts. Every failure is a forge for your discipline. But only when you cease reactive outbursts and begin thoughtful response. Only when you stop seeing yourself as a victim and start viewing yourself as the architect of your inner strength. The world does not become easier. You only become better at facing it. When someone disrespects you at work, when your partner suddenly loses temper without warning, or when a plan falls apart at the finish line, you stand in life's gym with 2 choices. Let that moment shrink you, or let it sharpen you. Most men rage and blame. The Stoic breathes, observes, learns, then decides, I will not waste this pain. The truth is, ease does not build character. Pressure does. Discomfort shapes the man. Difficult conversations, betrayal, delays. They are not obstacles on the path. They are the path. But you see this only when you stop running and start embracing them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Fire turns what it burns into flame." This is no poetry. It is training. What once threatened to break you becomes your fuel. It is easy to be kind when others are kind. Easy to stay calm when the world flows smoothly. But when someone yells in your face, when life throws the unexpected, when your pride is wounded, that is when you see truth. Then your value is no longer theory. It is tested. This is when true strength matters not in comfort, but under pressure. The man who can hold himself steady under strain is the man who overcomes all trials. Do not wait for the world to make your growth easy. It will not. What you can do is change how you see hardship. Do not see it as a disruption, but as an invitation. You are being called to step into a stronger version of yourself. You do not need a perfect life to do this. Simply regard each uncomfortable moment as training, especially the small ones. A delayed email, a cold glance, a traffic jam. This is where true work unfolds. Quietly, daily, with intention. This is how you apply it. The next time frustration rises within you, recognize it early. Do not run from it. Name it. Then ask yourself, what is this shaping inside me? And consciously decide how you will respond. Will you lash out uncontrollably or stand firm and cultivate resilience? Will you argue or strengthen your calm? Power is not a switch to flip on and off. It is forged in moments like these, not by pretending you feel nothing, but by choosing not to be ruled by emotion. You have the right to struggle, but no obligation to fall. You may feel the fire burn, yet you have the strength to turn it into fuel. So, when life pushes against you, do not see it as an insult. See it as an opportunity, an occasion to forge what no one else witnesses: your character, your control, your silent strength. Yes, observe your emotions without surrendering to them. A man does not fall because of his feelings. He falls because he obeys every feeling. Anger rises, and he acts on it. Fear freezes him in place. Shame makes him retreat. But what if you could watch all these feelings like clouds drifting across the sky, never turning into storms? This is not denial of emotion, but the stripping away of their control. Emotions are signals. They arrive swiftly, burning bright, but they are not commands. You are not your rage. You are not your anxiety. You are the observer of their arrival. And if you learn to watch without merging, you preserve your freedom. Freedom is not the suppression of feelings, but the refusal to be driven by them. This is a skill you can train like a muscle. Stoics do not say you should not feel. They say feel it, but do not blindly follow it. Imagine standing in a crowded room. Someone mocks you. You feel the surge. Your jaw tightens. Your heart pounds. That is real. But now, pause. Instead of reacting immediately, breathe. Instead of responding, name the feeling. This is anger. I feel it, but I will not act on it. You have just broken the chain of reaction. You have taken hold of the helm. Most men never do this. They live in automatic response. They believe that if emotion arises, it must be expressed. But Stoic practice teaches the opposite. Between stimulus and action lies a space, and in that space, you reclaim control. Here is where the power of emotion is forged, not by pretending to be unaffected, but by standing firm while the inner storm rages. To achieve this, you must cultivate mindfulness. Observe without judgment. When a thought arrives, do not seize it. When an emotion rises, do not let it speak for you. You simply watch in silence. And through this observation, you create distance. In that distance, you find your strength. We often rush into action before thought, then blame the world for the fallout. Yet the root of chaos is not outside events, but what lies within, what you have never questioned. When you hand over the microphone to emotion, your true worth falls silent. When impulse leads, your wisdom sits idle, unused in the corner. A Stoic man reverses this order. He sees the flame, but chooses not to let it consume. He feels the burn, but does not retaliate, knowing that true strength lies not in force, but in restraint. And restraint is no weakness. It is clarity. It is the silent command of one who has learned to wait, observe, and then decide. You can begin this practice at any moment. At work, when frustration rises. At home, when disappointment strikes. When fatigue weighs heavy, or provocation stirs. Before speaking, pause. Before acting, check in with yourself. Ask, what am I feeling and what do I want to build from this feeling? If the answer holds no value, let it pass. If it brings growth, then act. But only act when the storm inside has calmed. A mere 10 seconds of mindfulness can transform everything. This is no theory. It is training. Emotional resilience is neither loud nor showy. It does not seek applause. It lives in the silence between emotion and choice. And each time you pause, that silence grows stronger. You may think you lose something by not reacting, but in truth, you gain everything. Balance, vision, and your dignity. The world needs no more men shouting back. It needs men who stand firm, see clearly, and act only when the moment calls. So begin now. The next time emotions rise like ocean waves, neither fight them nor follow blindly. Stand still, breathe, observe, and move with choice, not impulse. Sixth, cultivate gratitude, even amid discomfort. Gratitude flows easily when the sun shines and all goes well, but when the morning dawns with bad news, when a trusted friend disappoints, when traffic steals an hour of your life, what will you do? Most men complain, replay the moment, and seek someone to blame. And with each complaint, they dig deeper into bitterness. But the Stoic does not dig this pit. He rises because he knows gratitude is not reserved for comfort. It is a tool for clarity. To be grateful in pain is not to deny suffering, but to recognize within hardship the seed of growth, a moment to sharpen patience, test endurance, and extend humility. While others lament what is missing, the Stoic seeks what is present, a lesson, a shift in perspective, on inner strength forge. He views discomfort not as a disruption of peace, but as the place where peace is proven genuine. Imagine standing in a long line, running late. Your phone buzzes relentlessly, yet progress stalls. Anger rises, sees, escape. Irritation tempts you, longing for cooperation. Instead, you breathe deeply. You look around and tell yourself, this too is a teacher. Suddenly, the line is no longer a waste, but a training ground. You're not losing time, you're building endurance. That shift, the choice to reframe the moment, is how emotional strength is forged. Most men flee discomfort. They chase convenience, but that breeds weakness, not strength. You grow when life resists, and you stand your ground. When you ask, what is this frustration revealing about me? That question transforms irritation into insight. And when you thank the moment for revealing what needs improvement, you take your first step toward true resilience. Seneca said, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. This is no mere metaphor. It is reality. Growth comes not from ease, but from resistance only when met with the right mindset. Gratitude is that mindset, not gratitude for injustice or cruelty, but for the chance to respond better than before. This is transformation. You cease begging life for ease. You begin begging yourself for strength, and every hardship becomes an answer to that plea. Gratitude thus becomes your strategy. You use it to reshape how you experience failure. This does not mean liking everything that happens, but refusing to waste any experience, even pain. Here is an exercise at the end of each day. Recall a moment that disturbed you, a small irritation. Then ask yourself, what opportunity did this moment offer me to practice? Was it patience? Was it humility? Was it reminding me to breathe before speaking? That is your gratitude. Not the event itself, but the opportunity it presented. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Let it change how you greet tomorrow. Most men live by reaction. The Stoic lives by cultivation. They do not seek comfort. They train clarity. And when suffering comes, they meet it with calm. Not panits. They do not welcome every circumstance, but refuse to let any pass without gain. Begin this practice not once a week, but every day. Anchor gratitude in pain. Plant it where absence dwells. Watch your mind transform not into false positivity, but real emotional independence. Such gratitude steadies you amid chaos, sharpens focus, amide-noise, and allows you to live each moment more fully than those around you. On Saturday, use a Stoic view of time to shrink your troubles. A small flame looks large when your face is too close, but step back, and it's just a tiny spark. This is time's power over problems. It shrinks them not by changing events, but by changing your perspective. What seems unbearable today often diminishes when seen from afar. Yet most men never take that step back. They press their face close to every discomfort, every insult, every delay burning in moments that could pass unnoticed. The Stoic's view of time is a surgeon's blade. It slices through the illusion that the present is all that matters. It teaches you to ask a better question. Will this matter a month, a year, 5 years from now? Suddenly, a sarcastic remark, a cancelled plan, a missed chance all lose their weight. Because most things that shake you are fleeting, they are temporary. And a mind that waits suffers no second pain. You miss a flight. You lose a deal. Someone forgets to say, thank you. In that moment, your heart races. Your mind runs wild. You spin stories, rehearse reactions, nurture resentment. But what if you pause not to deny the moment, but to see beyond it? What if you whisper to yourself, this too shall pass. I won't even remember this next year. That thought alone can drain the poison from most emotions, not by force, but by changing your frame of mind. The greatest mistake many make is equating urgency with importance. They treat every matter as a crisis, every argument as if it were the last, every mistake as a death sentence. But urgency is deception, and the Stoic knows this. They do not rush into battles time will resolve. They conserve energy. They discern which pains to face and which to endure. This is not indifference. It is discipline. Imagine standing in a storm, heavy rain, roaring wind. You are soaked, trembling, angry at the sky. But then someone tells you the rain will pass in 5 minutes. You do not panic. You wait patiently. This is the power of perspective, the strength to hold your ground, not because it is easy, but because you know it is temporary. You suffer more when you believe the storm will last forever. Yet the wise man knows it rarely does. Seneca reminded us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. When you give time to your pain, you diminish the power of your imagination. That silent insult will fade by next week. That failure will become a stepping stone in the year ahead. A broken heart will become just a memory. Its sharp edges, softened by time. When you grasp this deeply, you will no longer bleed over paper cuts. Here is a simple exercise when something frustrates you. Don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead ask, "How long will this matter?" Then answer, honestly. The truth is shorter than your reaction. It signals when to let go. And letting go is not weakness, it is wisdom. Allow your emotions to come and go. Feel them, but do not build your identity upon them. Let time carry them away while you stand firm. You owe no apology to any discomfort. You need not explain your calmness to those addicted to urgency. Know that your peace grows as your vision widens. Make time your ally. Use it to sift what deserves your energy and what does not. Soon, you will see how many problems appear large only because you stand too close. Step back. Breathe deeply. Shrink the moment. In 5 years, most of what troubles you today will be insignificant. Do not let passing clouds obscure your light. Let time reveal what truly matters. Let perspective restore your peace and carry you through today with steady resolve, rooted in distance, not noise. This is how you rise quietly, unwavering. Every man longs for strength, not the loud kind that seeks attention, but the silent power that cannot be shaken. What you hear now is no theory. It is practice. The silent discipline of mastering your emotions, the ability to pause, reflect, choose, and guard your peace as if your life depends on it. Because, in many ways, it truly does. When you begin to master your reactions, lower your expectations of others, and view each irritation as a test of character, you transform. You are no longer a slave to your emotions. You are not pulled every which way by noise, by others, by circumstance. You start living with clarity. The Stoics were not saints. They too struggled, just like you, but they trained their minds daily through self-reflection, silence, and deliberate response. Now, you can do the same. You don't need perfect conditions to begin. You only need to be present. You must practice. Remember, inner peace is not something to be found. It is built through habits, through choices. So today, start with the smallest things. When someone speaks harshly, do not reply in kind. When your plans change, do not complain. When discomfort arises, meet it with awareness. Strengthen your emotional resilience like a muscle. Turn every challenge into your training ground. Over time, the world will remain noisy, but you will not. I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. What recent moment tested your peace? How did you respond? Let this space become your growth journal, a mirror reflecting the man you are becoming. Remember, true calm is not the absence of conflict. It is the refusal to surrender your mind to chaos. Hold fast to this truth. Live it, and carry it quietly but firmly within you.